Like you, I have heard different takes on success all my life. However, what's that common factor to these perspectives, you may ask? Success is usually a byproduct of persistence in the face of challenges. And the way we ordinary people face challenges is the same for the on-screen stars. With that being said, stay tuned to learn more about the success stories of 7 Hollywood stars who will motivate you to continue to dream big. First off, Keanu Reeves. If there was ever a list of the world's most loved celebrities, we're sure Keanu Reeves would top every list. With an enviable career spanning 4 decades, Keanu is one of the most talented actors today. But what makes his story stand out? His humble background and never-ending troubled life. Not everyone has a fatherless childhood, but Keanu did, starting at age 3. He has also experienced his fair share of tragedy, including the death of his best buddy from a heroin overdose at 29, and the stillbirth of a child with his wife. She passed away only a few months after they eventually chose to divorce due to their strident personal disagreements. However, Mr. Reeves never gave up on life. He continued to push forward and star in some of the biggest movies that have stood the test of time. Nobody's forgetting John Wick anytime soon, are we? Keanu Reeves is a testament to how we take the lemons that life gives us and turn them into something resembling lemonade. In his opinion, tragedy is a part of life that is always constant, and even though he is worth millions of dollars, he still rides the subway. We have so much to learn from his humble attitude, don't we? Next up, Jim Carrey. If you are a 90s series regular, you'll remember Jim Carrey from Living in Color. Ever since he hit our screens and theaters, Carrey has been known to be the funny guy with his effortless slapstick performances. However, there's so much more to the 60-year-old, all-around funny guy than meets the eye. Many of us may not know it, but Carrey was born into a very modest family. Although his father was also a comedian, he had to give up that dream to provide for his family, as comedy wasn't profitable back then if it wasn't mainstream. However, Jim decided to push through the difficulties, even when his hometown, Newmarket, Ontario, wasn't precisely home for the greats. Eventually, he got his big break in Ace Ventura: Pet Detective. Even though the road after that wasn't the smoothest, he continued to push through to be one of the most iconic all-around entertainers we have today. He used the theory of affirmations every day to tell himself that movie offers would pour in, that he would be a good actor, and that everybody would want to work with him. Even though he struggled with dyslexia as a child and could not focus on his studies because of that, he worked at overcoming this challenge to become the funny actor we all know him as today. Another success story worth highlighting is that of Robert Downey Jr. Before he became Iron Man, he was Robert Downey Jr. first, and Robert Downey Jr. was known for many things, but a successful career wasn't one. He was seen as someone who came from privilege, but didn't do so much with it. Instead, Robert's childhood was filled with mistakes, almost to the point of no return. He lived a disturbing life, got involved with drugs, got caught with the law too many times, and kept spiraling down. Eventually, at an age where it may have appeared a bit too late for others, he decided to take charge of his own life. In 2004, he delved into the movie industry, trying his hands out at several things, slowly and steadily taking charge of his life. Eventually, he got his most significant break in 2008 with the coveted role of Iron Man, after which there was no looking back for him. RDJ's story reminds us that it's never too late to write our life story, irrespective of how we started. Don't go anywhere, as we have more inspiring Hollywood success stories coming up that will motivate you to dream big. Okay, the Avengers do have a lot of inspiring behind the scenes, or should we say behind the costume stories. Up next is Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt has your classic rags to riches story. He went from living in a van through his teenage years to working low jobs, like waiting tables at restaurants. One thing was peculiar to Chris. He was very happy with what he did and always worked with charm. But when the opportunity came for him to upgrade his life and future, he jumped at it readily. On one of those days of waiting tables at the Bubba Gump Shrimp Company, actress actress Ray Dawn Chong visited the place. He went up to her and asked her if she was cast in movies, and eventually, she did take him in for her directorial debut movie called Cursed Part 3. And that was the beginning of a fantastic career in Hollywood for Chris Pratt. Chris Pratt had that one opportunity, and we're grateful that it met him ready, because it's for that reason that we have such impressive blockbusters as Jurassic World today. If you found Chris Pratt's story inspiring, wait until you hear that of everyone's favorite Doc Green, Mark Ruffalo. Ruffalo won the hearts of so many and is one of our favorite Marvel stars, but it'll surprise you that he's not always had a successful career or even much success in his personal life. As a kid, he had undiagnosed dyslexia, and it had such an adverse effect on his studies as expected. Also, his entire family suffered financially, and they consequently had to move to Wisconsin and quickly became bankrupt. At this point, he decided to take up an acting career. As expected, he faced a lot of rejections, and there were as many as 600 to 800 auditions. An interesting part of his story is that at some point, his famous temper rise in his eventual big break was a norm that he dealt with in his personal life. He used to cover his house walls with posters because he would punch the walls so hard that he would put holes in them. It's no wonder Marvel cast him as the Hulk. After he got his first break in 2001, he found out he had a brain tumor. Ruffalo has had many such challenging moments, but didn't give up. It's these reasons that make him the successful actor he is today. The sixth story we'll discuss today is that of Jeremy Renner. Like a lot of us, Renner always wanted to be a movie star as a kid, but rather than only building castles in his head, he took the bull by the horns and came to LA to pursue this dream. He auditioned a lot and acted in several movies with minor roles, and after all that struggle and living in the dark because he was unable to pay for necessities as basic as electricity bills, he finally bagged a big role in The Hurt Locker in 2009. He was known as the new guy in town for a long time, although technically he was already working in the industry for about 20 years. Renner never gave up, even with all these hardships. We learn from Renner that we should never give up on our dreams and dream big, even if they seem unachievable. Today, we all refer to him as Hawkeye from the Avengers, one of the best to ever do it. Finally, we have Leonardo DiCaprio on our list of Hollywood success stories that will motivate you to dream big. Jack Dawson, Frank Abagnale Jr., Dom Cobb. Those are just some of the most famous roles that Leonardo DiCaprio has played throughout his lifetime. But it'll interest you to know that there's so much more to DiCaprio than just talent and his face. He is one of the many people who have had a very tough childhood. However, according to the story he tells, the first time he got beaten up was the point that he realized he wanted to be an actor. He went as far as telling his mother to start taking him for auditions at 15. He kept pushing through. And if there's one thing we can take from his story, we should not allow our surroundings to affect our dreams. These celebrities inspire us so much with their stories. They show that ordinary people can dream big and live extraordinary lives too. So guys, what do you think about this video and the success stories we portrayed? Do you feel more motivated to work towards your goals, or have you been geared up to dream bigger? We'd love to know what you think. Drop us a quick comment below, and don't forget to hit the subscription and notification buttons to keep getting exciting and entertaining videos like this. Thank you for watching.